Well, g'day guys, Matt here, welcome to the channel. This week is probably going to be, I don't know if it's going to be longer or shorter to be honest, but I did do a video of the new arrival, so go and check that one out. I'll put the link in the description, and it was just the previous video. Another thing, guys, we have some stickers. Now, actually one of the viewers, had messaged me saying that they owned a sign company and they offered to print up our logo, the new logo that we got. And obviously we were happy to pay and do it all, but yeah, he wanted to donate them. So very, very appreciative of that. He actually didn't ask me to mention his name or didn't talk about anything like that, but I will anyway. This is the company, Drew's Sign It. So they're based in Australia, and they're the details there. So check them out if you want. It's at dsi.net.au is the website. But they do all sorts of stuff. If you look on the website, you'll soon see what they do. It's quite impressive. So we've got this size here. They'd be what, maybe 6-inch diameter, maybe 5-inch, something like that. And I don't really want to peel one back yet because we're not ready to stick it on any vehicles. But obviously the colours will be a lot more brighter than that once we pull the paper off. And we've also got these ones here. They'd be about 12-inch or more. So they'll go well on the dozers or headers or something like that. But it's really, really good adhesive. It's looking at the spiel online, it is not the just cheap any old adhesive for the stickers, and it doesn't wreck the paint of vehicles. And yeah, it's not something you really want to be putting on an expensive bit of gear and find out that you can't get it off or it's damaging the paint. So yeah, good stuff. So again, really appreciate that. We'll certainly be finding vehicles to put some of those on.
Well folks, Peter back again. We're down at the development block. There's a little bit happening. We've got the ROPS cab here. It just arrived yesterday. We've got Jamie here helping me. The interesting side story to this is we bought this tractor number 3 sight unseen. So we had my good friend Andrew had seen it, but there was another fellow who we got in contact with who Andrew knew, and he turned out to be a really straightforward, straight up and down sort of a guy. And so we asked him if he would go and have a second opinion on it, which he did. Gave a very good report. So we didn't need to see the machine to know it was a good one. But the ROPS and a few of the attachment spare idlers and rollers came separately on a separate company. And so we picked this up the day after we took delivery of number 3, and we did ask the question, what should we name it? But you know, some days you wake up and you ask yourself, are you as silly as you think you are? And some days just confirm it. So just have a look at this. What do you think about that? It already came with number 3 on it and we never knew it. So I reckon that might be the clincher. So anyway, we're just going to have a crack seeing if we can sit it on the cab without breaking any glass. So also we haven't told Robbo yet, but we when we're putting the stickers on, we put one on the grader here. So we'll see what he says when he goes back to work. So this looks very flash, doesn't it? Anyway, let's press on. caught up to Phil and we're going to put some stickers on. Some new stickers that we've got. We'll see how that goes. I don't think he knows we're here yet. Looks like it's going pretty well. We just put the stickers on. Put 3 stickers on, one up there and one at the back here, just can see it. So I just told Phil it'll go much better now. Anyway, we'll see.
While we're here and before everyone takes off, we'll go through what's been happening with this air cart here. You might remember in the last planting season, right at the end, we're on the last paddock and we started having some issues. Now, we tried, it's nearly been a year we've been trying to work out which is the best way to go, whether we can get that system repaired or whatnot. But we've got Brad here to tell us why we swapped the system completely over. So here's the elusive one.
G'day guys, and welcome to Video Land out here. Where he nailed me to the corner and I had to give a spiel. So.
Yeah, if you look closely, I've got some 4-inch nails going through his boot there.
Yeah.
So he can't run away.
I'm very disappointed because I was hoping to go for a ride tomorrow, but I've come under the weather a bit, so.
Sucks to be you.
Yes.
Were you going to hit that ramp, were you?
Yeah, well, maybe. A couple of weeks, guys, maybe.
I think everyone's keen on that, but they don't know that none of us have done that for probably, what, 5 years?
Yeah, it'll be 5 years since I've hit it. I just need to get a down ramp built with the excavator, so I need a day of dry dirt and no pressure, and then hopefully we'll have a down ramp, and yeah, we'll give her a go.
How do you find no pressure when we're about to start sowing?
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yes, it is the problem. Maybe when the crop's in the ground in a couple of months.
You might find out where there's some that have had a crack on the ramp if you see a few people rock up in casts from the waist down. But anyway, got distracted there a bit. Yes, the air cart here.
He does that. He gets very distracted.
Yeah, well, who's my father? Where were we? Air cart, right. So why did we go for this other system? We'll go up close and walk around in a minute, but why did we go for this system rather than the system that was on it? Because the system that was on it was good and had some good features,
yeah,
but what was the...
We love the Bluetooth, no wires to the front. Just, yeah, we couldn't get new parts for it, so it was an old system that they weren't servicing anymore, so we broke down, we had no options.
Yeah.
And being electric drive, you can't just hook up a chain and go old school, so yeah, we had to do something, so we were looking whether to go hydraulic, electric, or back to ground drive.
Or buy a new air cart.
Or buy a new air cart,
But
yes.
if you watch the previous videos, that might help explain why we didn't buy a new air cart. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. The steel price has got us good, so yeah.
No, righto, we'll go up closer and have a bit of a look.
So if you go around here, yeah, we've just got our the Apollo system from Topcon, which is pretty much on all the ball gults and that. Pretty popular. So we're only running the 1 unit. We don't have section control yet. We may update the metering box down the track and do that. We've got the ability to do that now, which is good. So basically we've kept all the motors the same. The electric motor, we just put a new plug, and this Apollo CM40 is just controlling that. We made up, they put some new teeth on the top to count the pulses. So the way this system works is it measures the speed of your motor, then you put in your RPM, or you put in your ratio, sorry, and then it correlates with the sensor on the meter and box over here. That's your shaft speed. So the way it controls it is from your motor speed, and then your shaft speed sensor is really just to tell you if the chain's broken or it's not turning, so it puts up an alarm. So the other day we had a bit of trouble because we were trying to find a setting that worked out our ratios, and we wasn't making sense. But anyway, we rang the helpline and they were able to help us out. So
so that's the main benefit of swapping this all over, because it's not cheap, but you can't afford to be halfway through planting and there's no helpline.
That's right. And we've got this the 25 screen in the cab. We've got it hooked up to GPS. We're not steering with it yet. We're using our old system, but it'll have the mapping and that with the planter.
Yeah, we'll go and have a look at that in a bit. But yeah, I think the only downside to this system probably the wiring harness front to back, isn't it?
Yes.
Because the old one, if you move your physique there, the other one had the alternator and battery here, so the alternator ran off the fan, battery was there, so there was literally no cables running from here to the tractor, which made it easy when you wanted to swap tractors or do anything like that. It was just, yeah, you didn't have to have plugs and all that sort of stuff. But again, it's no good if it plays up and you can't get help. So that was the reasoning there. You can see the plugs and all that on the back here. That one there is for the Gayson air cart, and these ones are for the gyral air cart that is on here now. So I haven't actually fired up the screen, so we'll get Brad to do that and we'll have a look. These seats are never big enough. Right, so Brad, is there anything to know?
So we can turn each bin off and on there individually. It tells us our kilos, our rate.
You've requested rate, so you just adjust that with
and
whatever
then
you want.
Down here we've got hectares, we've got our RPM speed, our shaft, our kilos per hectare, fan speed, and PSI or KPA. Then we can calibrate. We go down here, multi-tank calibration, automatic calibration, and then we go through.
Oh yeah. And there's an app, you were saying earlier there's an app for this too, so you can calibrate it when you're out the back.
Yes, so you hook up to your phone through Wi-Fi, and then we'll be able to, we've just got this function here, multi-tank calibration, off my phone, so it saves us getting back up here. Then we can, if we've got our planter width, we can, if we get section control down the track, it'll show which sections. This is how we engage there. Tells us our speed. You can change all those settings. There's quite a lot of functions there, and then we can go. That's our mapping, or back to our
yeah. So this actually runs off the GPS, which is that's the GPS system there. But this is hooked into that, so it knows its speed. So it'll determine its speed and everything via GPS, but if the GPS drops out, it's got a ground speed sensor as backup, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, so that's the thing I like about it, is if we go back, I'm still trying to figure it out here. We go down here, this is all our settings, so we go implement, polo, cedar, then speed. So we've got sources,
fallback.
GPS, fallback is our wheel sensor, or you can disable. And then we've got our pulses, you can put in, then we control our fan sensors here, granular, all sorts of things. Drive setup, that's what we had trouble with the other day. So that's our gear ratio that we've got in. For canola we're at 200 to 1. For our MAP we're at 50 to 1.
And
yeah.
this, because this is ISO, what happens when we want to hook into the Steiger?
Same thing, it'll come up exactly the same. Just, yeah.
So do you have to load programs onto that or anything, or just?
We've got to make sure it's enabled.
Yeah.
On the, because it's running a Trimble system, so it'll plug straight in, but we may have to enable it. So yeah, we might have to pay a bit there.
Yeah.
To get that enabled, but yeah, essentially it'll come up on the screen like that.
Well, that'd be nice. The big thing, the big improvement is this has more capability or future proofing than the other system. There was no integration at all with the other system. Well, that looks good. That'll be good to get cracking, what, in a week, maybe?
Yeah, maybe just after Easter Monday, maybe Tuesday.
So we should...
Might be dry enough by then, enough weeds come up to give them a go.
Yep. Do a final spray before sowing and then...
And we'll have a crack.
Into it. Back to what I was doing. This is the nozzle bar for the weed it. Hang on, I'll go over here. We'll start from the start. So the end sections get a bit of a flogging. Just from contour banks and whatever, they just dip down, hit the dirt. They're only aluminium, so they bend pretty easily. So yeah, you can see that one's a little bit bent, and this is the one I've cut off. It was quite mangulated. So I've just cut it off there, and we're going to use that obviously to bolt the new one up, and I might just make a little patch there to bolt together. The reason is this section here is a 20 hole section, or 20 nozzle section, so all of those, and that one there is a 15, and most of them are 20. These are on back order for however many months. I don't know how long it's going to take to get them, but they did have the shorter ones were available to get, so we got a couple of them, and then we can always just cut and shut and make it all work. So this was the worst bit, so I'm just doing that for the moment, and then we can, I don't know, wait until the next ones come, and then we'll probably replace it properly anyway, just so it's nice and strong. So yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. That shouldn't take me too long to get that under control. Righto, well, it's not the prettiest, but it'll do until we get those other bits in. But yeah, I think we're gonna really need the sprayers to be hooking in, and we won't want any breakdowns, because yes, I think next week and for a little while we're going to be just flat out spraying, whether with the Weed It or the Rogator or the Howsam. So we want it all tip top. Anyway, that might be it for this video, but I think planting will begin next week, so tune in for that. And just remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one.